Hello my dearest subscribers and viewers, it's Mo with you again. As I understood from your comments to my videos and from the popularity of some of my videos, the most useful and popular topic is the topic of family finances. And since the main point of making these videos is being useful, I decided to make another video on the same topic, on the topic of family finances, trying to be useful to you. What I'm going to do today is to give you a piece of advice on how to run your family budget wisely. And what I'm going to advise you today is to organize a family equalization or stabilization fund, as it may be called. Of course, you may say that an equalization fund is something concerning governments and countries, not families. But as I hope our countries are governed by wise people who are able to cope with financial difficulties, and since they cope with financial difficulties using equalization funds on a country scale, on a country level, then you can cope with financial difficulties in your families following their example. Well, the idea of creating an equalization fund came to me a year ago when we returned from our leave and when we spent quite a sum of money paying for hotels and divertisements and all the things we needed and not needed as usual, taking a leave. And we returned without a penny. Well, I counted on a sum of money to be paid for my translations that had been done beforehand. And the payment was delayed. And I faced a very difficult situation when I didn't have a sum enough even to pay for my utility bills, and it was quite stressful. It was the first time in my life when I had to borrow money. I had to borrow money from my family and friends, and it was very unusual and difficult and stressful, as I said, because it was for the first time. And you have to ask, you have to wait for a reply, and even if you are given that sum of money you ask for, you face difficulties in the future when you have to pay back your debts. Of course, I paid everything I owed to my family and friends, but that damaged my financial situation in the family afterwards, and it was so stressful for me that I decided that never ever in my life will I face the same situation of borrowing money again. And the only one way I can avoid these situations in the future is creating an equalization fund. And I decided that I will do it. I created a bank account and put a certain sum of money every month on that bank account. It was to be 1/30th of my monthly income. I made it so low to make it not noticeable for my family budget that this sum of money is taken away. And I made that sum of money regular to make it a habit. You make it once, you make it twice, thrice, etc. And in a time it becomes a habit, and you even don't notice that you put a 1/30th part of your family income, monthly income, on an account. But when you face a difficult situation, you already have a sum of money to be taken and to settle all your needs and to cope with all your difficulties. There is only one difficult thing about that equalization fund you will face. It's a temptation to take that sum of money out of your bank account and to buy something that you want, to buy something that you're lured by. But you have to put it in your mind that this equalization fund is not to satisfy your wishes, but to settling your needs, to satisfying your needs. It's a stabilization fund for unstable situations, not for wishes. It's not a wishes fund, it's an equalization fund. And since you settle it in your mind, since you fix it in your mind, you will cope with that temptation of taking that sum of money. And if you face a difficult situation in the future, as I set it for me in my mind, it could be something like losing my job or facing difficulties with my health, for example. Then I can take that sum of money out of that bank